capable enough to market my company. And we had the skill set to close deals that most of the young sales guys would absolutely struggle. So what we learned in college and what we had as an opportunity, and by utilizing those opportunities and by building companies, um, it opened a spectrum of skill sets that wasn't exposed by the typical curriculum. And that is the gap that I'm talking about. To fill in that gap, my answer to whether you should start up in college is like, yes, you should start up in college. And you don't have to worry about whether it should become a successful company, whether it should make $1 million, or like it should get on a venture capital, right? You don't have to worry about any of that at this stage. All you have to do is like find a problem and solve that. If you can build a business opportunity around a problem, is that all you need in order to build all the skill sets which will live along throughout your life, whether you become an entrepreneur, whether you become a CEO, or you work for a startup, or you work for a corporate, you will be an undeniably irreplaceable candidate over there. Those skill sets are something that you would you wouldn't get from books. You wouldn't get from by reading blogs or watching a video or just by listening to me. It doesn't happen, man. It all happens by experience. And so if you ask me how to start up in college, the key is to find a problem. And I'm going to tell you another story. How did we find that key problem? Um, so it was back in second year of college, I guess. Like, and during that time of that part of time, I'm from a middle class family, so I wasn't able to afford the new books, right? From buying from college or from buying from any publisher, we weren't able to buy. I mean, I wasn't able to afford the new books. So I wanted to solve this problem. I thought, okay, maybe it's not just me. There's just so many middle class people in this college. What if I can have a portal which connects the second-hand book dealers with students so that they can have an e-commerce site where they can just go book some buy some books and gets delivered to them. By building that company, so when I had this idea, I went to my one of my nearby classes where my friend Ritesh was studying from, right? I just went to him and I said, like, from another section. So I went and told him, like, Ritesh, I have this idea. So why don't we start this? Then he pulled in, then Shiveen again, one of my other co-founder pulled in, and one of my other friends, Vadut, who is like again working for one of the biggest startups in the UK. So we all collaborated together in order to what to say, uh, in order to build this startup, in order to build Bookshelf. So Bookshelf was an idea for connecting second-hand book dealers to deliver books to people who are not able to afford the new books. That was the simplest idea behind what we did. And this is what it means to build a startup in college. You just have to find a problem which you're more passionate about, or like something that you do regularly. And if you're able to build a business model around it, that's all it takes to build a startup. And that's how Bookshelf was born. Today, the company doesn't exist. We actually closed it like 4 years back. We actually closed it, and but it was an excellent opportunity for me to learn about a lot of things. We went on to pitch this particular product in more than 4 B schools in India, which I would have never got an opportunity to do. I actually pitched in IIM Bangalore, Hyderabad bits. Like, we went in and around India to meet a lot of investors, to meet a lot of B schools, and still being in college. We took all the opportunities that we had. Our dean, our HOD was absolutely supportive to us. And I believe all the teachers in SRM would be supportive for that. We are not in we are not under, we are deemed university. We have so much opportunities over here. We'll have supports from our teachers. They gave us opportunities to travel throughout India. They gave us the time and all the support to do what we wanted to do. We went around India. We pitched in so many different places, and that was one of the biggest learnings in my life. That I met so many people, and they taught me what business is. We won few events. We failed a lot, and we kept learning from it. So coming from that, coming from the learnings that I had from there, the second time when the universe hit me was I was in this particular event called as Startup Weekend by Google, where we are pitching Bookshelf, right? Um, there, one person from the audience, his name was Mr. Gopi. He came to us and he said, uh, Shai and Shivin, I have an idea for you. I have a product idea and I just want you to build it for us. We thought it's another project. We thought it's another agency project or another freelancing project. That's what we thought. But then eventually he became our mentor. He helped us to understand the business aspects of building a startup. This was the very first time we were introduced to this strange term called as mentorship. Mentorship is the absolute key thing to build a successful startup. But back then, I didn't understand one thing. Like, why would somebody come to me and say, like, hey Shai, I'll help you with your company, and I don't want anything from it. He didn't have any expectations from us. Even though he wanted us to build the product, he didn't want us to do it for free. He said that he would pay for that. And apart from that, he helped us, spent his time, gave his time to us, traveled with us, and he taught us how to build systems inside a company. So this was around the third year of college that I was introduced to mentorship, and we found a splendid mentor who helped us to build this company. And then we moved on and we became an official company in the third year of college, and we went full time. Fourth year was all about building growth. It was all about marketing, sales, and becoming one of the finest software agencies in India. So today we have impacted over 20 plus industries, and all of that, what it's there, what the company is today was built by the fundamentals that was built by the opportunities that came from college, like came from the people I met, or from my teachers, from my mentors, and from the learnings that we had from the events. So I learned so much from college. I learned so much by accepting opportunities. But one of the things that I would like to tell you is that as good as this sounds, like to build a startup, there's just so much effort and struggle that you have to go through it. And here's that one thing that you should be really worried about building a startup in your early age. Building a startup will take your life on a ride. It might even go for decades. And are you willing to go all in on your startup? If you feel that, no, man, I can't uh, bunk classes, I can't quit college, or I can't, unless it makes, I can't live without making thousands in my bank every month, then, buddy, like building a startup is not meant for you. Despite all the glory you see, despite you feel that you hear all the good stories that Mark Zuckerberg became a millionaire in his prime, whatever you hear, there's just so much struggle behind thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs in India. We have, not everybody has $1 million. Not everybody has a skill set to build $1 million product. Everybody has $1 million idea, but then only few can execute it. So if you believe that you can execute it, if you believe that you are the one to build a great startup, then please go ahead. But if you have this feeling that, okay, I'm not going to go all in on the startup, then you don't have, and I feel that that's not how it works. You can't have two things at the same time. You can't work for a company and build a startup. That's not going to work. And that won't work. From my experience, I could say that. And apart from that, like if you keep even that aside from building a startup, my suggestion is that go build companies. If you have a problem, build a business model around it. If you have an idea, try to form a team and solve those problems, because like that will give you a lot of learnings. You don't have to take it full time, but just do it. And trust me, by doing that, you will become an irreplaceable asset in the team. Like whatever you do in the future, you are just a valuable asset. And and one of the things that I would like to share with you is that an insight that I got from reverse engineering myself is to understand what happened to this kid who used to bunk classes, who used to fail almost 80% of the exams. And for a guy who never participated in school, how did I become an entrepreneur? Can you actually nurture it? Can it be taught? Can entrepreneurship be taught? Like this is one of the biggest questions that's been wondering about, right? Did something happen to me? Did lightning strike and I became Flash? I mean, I would love to be Flash, but that's not going to happen, right? So to answer that question, I think few of the greatest skill set that anyone can exhibit would be critical thinking, problem solving, and being a visionary and see changes before it happens. So to have all of these skill sets, whatever I said, problem solving, critical thinking, whatever I said, to have those skill set is that small gap I was talking to you a few minutes back. That is like the gap between the Indian education system and what the industry demands. That gap is a curation of all the skill sets that I just spoke about. To build those skill sets, start building companies. And I truly believe I was able to build those skill sets by building multiple startups. I have built over five startups, five startups, in which many of them failed, but few of them are successful. And I have gone through a lot, but one thing that I can assure, I can outsmart a lot of people. I can outsmart ton of people, and it's not something to brag about, but it's a pure skill set that will make you irreplaceable. So my giveaway is that whether you're building a startup for living or just for a hobby, it's that single greatest way to unlock all the skill set that will make you future proof. And there are so many companies in this world, man. Like there's just so many startups, so many corporates and digital companies that are pouring millions of money to find such people who can align technology with business objectives. And if you have such an entrepreneurial mindset, then you'll become future proof. And this is what I call as the agile workforce, the one key for a better world and for a better workforce. My greatest advice to, I wouldn't say an advice, but my suggestion is that because I'm not be the seasoned entrepreneur that you might think, but from what I learned till this point of my journey, is that do not be concerned about making your startup successful or making million bucks, like, or worried about whether your startup will do well or not. Rather live the journey and see how far you can take it. And to be honest, that's the beauty of an entrepreneurial mindset. Build upon it and you will see everything fall in line for you. So that's it. This is my time, and I hope you learned a thing or two from my journey. And I hope you guys will build great products and build great companies. And I believe you will be. We need better entrepreneurs, man. We need better stuff. We need better startup guys. We need better product guys for a better world. So this is my time. I hope you guys learned something cool. Prabha, ma'am?
Yes, yes, Shai. Yes, Shai. Any interaction? Any students' questions? Shai, may I ask you a question?
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. I think half of them slept, but yeah.
See, I just wanted to know, hopefully we are moving towards post-pandemic scenario, right? As a technopreneur or as a startup entrepreneur, any particular business strategies, the new entrepreneurs, they are supposed to take up? Business strategies.
There's just so much opportunity during pandemic, ma'am. Like, because one of the things that I recently saw was like, I run a company called as Disruptors of Tomorrow, which is a co-working space. We saw a huge opportunity that was there in front of our eyes. I can share the story that what happened was during the pandemic, people didn't want to come to office. They were really scared about co-working space is nothing but a curation of work environment for multiple companies to come inside a space and work, right? So you'll meet a lot of people next to you and you might get infected by the COVID virus, right? So people are really scared to come back to workspace. They're really scared to come back to, maybe now we are much better because we are vaccinated and we are assured about going outside, right? But during that 1 year of time, it was one of my biggest struggles that we were burning cash like consecutively. We burnt over like 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs in just 6 months of time. And we were just burning so much money over there. But that's when we have to be an entrepreneur that thinks about taking opportunities that's there and right in front of you. One thing that we figured was like people didn't want to come back to workspaces, but they would love to travel outside Chennai. They would love to travel to go to forest and work from there. They would love to go to Munnar and work from there, right? So we took this as an opportunity. We ran a survey. We talked to a lot of people. We started, even before investing any money into it, we started doing a lot of research. So today we are working on building work pods in hill stations inside forests. So this is a very simple example of how you can take opportunities that's there and right in front of you, despite whatever is going on, like whether some disaster is happening, you're burning cash, or some big pandemic like COVID happened. There's just so much opportunities that are born by each and everything that happens. You shouldn't be worried about, oh my God, I burned money, I have to close down my company. That's not how it works. You need to see how you can grow as a business and how you could take such opportunities to leverage your company. From now on, Disruptors of Tomorrow might not be a co-working space, but a co-working pod that's placed in multiple hill stations. So my strategy would be is like to analyze what's happening and where the opportunity lies or what new opportunities are born. So to have that analytical thinking, it will take maybe some experience to build some companies, but eventually every entrepreneur will have that, and they will see an opportunity right in front of them, take it up. So that's my suggestion, like in this post-pandemic scenario.
Okay. Okay. Well said. Well said. So I understand that the strategies, you are supposed to identify the crisis in front of you. Based on that, you have to take any step.
Yeah.
You
just have to analyze that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Any other doubts? Any other questions from student side?
Cool, guys. You don't have to worry about it. Like, if you have any doubt, just throw it to me. Like, and I'm always available on LinkedIn. You can connect with me. You can talk about building a startup. If you have anytime, any idea, just connect with me. I would love to talk with you guys.
Okay. The chat messages, we'll see to that. It is going on live YouTube. No worry. Even if it is not recorded, no worries. Okay, someone said it is not recorded. That is okay. And one more thing I would like to ask you, Shai, is there any tips not to be followed by an entrepreneur as a young entrepreneur? Any particular tip? You should not go for this. Any unsuccessful business models you saw from other entrepreneurs?
There's nothing like I mean, like, unsuccessful business models all depend on the scenario, ma'am. Like, whether it all depends on so many different factors, whether which time you're launching your product, which time your product is in the market. There's just so many factors. But maybe one thing that I could say is like there'll be tremendous ego for a person when he builds a company, and I had it. I had scenarios when I fought with my co-founder, and my co-founder had it. But you need to overcome that. If you don't overcome that, you'll be absolutely dead by even before you launch. So I mean, like, one of the scenarios was like I was there in my we were working out from a 3 BHK apartment before we had an office. So we were working from a 3 BHK apartment. So I was just in the hallway, and we had a fight between my co-founder and me. That, I mean, like, I just laugh behind it when I look at it, like when I think about it, because like we had a fight saying who will become the CEO of this company. It absolutely doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, as long as you are the co-founder of the companies, whether whatever position you are in, whether you are a CEO or a CPO or a CTO. That really doesn't matter, because like when I see young entrepreneurs coming up and saying like, hey, I'm the CEO of this company, I honestly feel bad for it, because positions don't matter. So that day, even though this software agency was all somewhere, like, I had to put a lot of effort from my end to come up with it. Today, Shivain is the CEO of Alchemy Technologies, because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You have to overcome the ego. Being a young entrepreneur, you will definitely have that. You feel like, I mean, like, I really need that position. I really need to be the king of the company. I need to have all the control. That doesn't work. And second advice would be like, be open for partnership. That is like, say like you start a company and it's 2 years or something, and there's somebody who comes and adds value to your company. Always have an open mind to give some stake in your company. Don't always feel that, okay, let me just pay him, I won't give him any stake, I'll all hold it. That doesn't work at all. Give it up. That's how great companies are born, because like you need more people and you can't do it all by yourself. So give up on egos. That's my greatest advice. I had it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think the money is the very important thing to start up a new company in a small?
I would say, I wouldn't say no, ma'am. Like, definitely you need some money. Because like when it comes to software agency, you don't need any money, you just need your skill set and your time. So you can just go build some software, just need a computer and start doing. But if you practically look at it, you have invested on your laptop and you have given your time. So eventually, which means that you're investing some money no matter what. So whether you bought a new laptop from your parents or whatever, you've still invested money. And there's just a difference that whether you're invested or bootstrapped. So companies can exist bootstrapped. Dribble is a design portfolio website which is like completely bootstrapped for almost 7 8 years and never been invested in $1 million company. So it can be purely bootstrapped, but doesn't but you really need some funds. It depends on what type of idea that you have, whether you have a product idea or you have an agency to start up or a marketing agency, whatever you feel like. You need some funds because or you have to start coding by yourself. But my suggestion is that don't invest a penny when you start up. Go learn coding. And because I can just predict by saying that 90% of the people who wants to start up would have a software idea. Only like the 10% might have maybe a co-working idea or whatever, like something that's apart from software, right? But coding is a base skill set. It's not something hard. Just learn coding and start investing your time, or find a co-founder from your engineering department, find a friend from there, start building products together. So but don't invest some money. When you start up, don't invest. But eventually, you will need money to self. You might have to self fund, or you have to get some money from your parents. That might happen. For my co-working space, I'm really proud. I'm not even shy to say that, but my mom did help me to start up my co-working space back like 4 5 years back. So you really need some self funds. Without that, you can't get started.
Okay. So money is also important for starting.
Very important, yeah.
Okay. So along with the business knowledge, the contact and networks, the money is also an important factor. We do agree. Do you think, apart from this IT industry, right, after this pandemic, it has a very good future. There are so many surveys prove that also during this pandemic and after this pandemic also, we are going to have a very good market. Is there any particular industry they are going to have a very good market in future, according to you, as you feel?
Ma'am, can you just repeat the question again?
Yeah, apart from this IT industry, since you are from computer networks or IT industry, is there any possibilities and probability of any other industries they have a very good scope in future after this pandemic scenario? One single industry. We do understand. See, even morning we had a small lecture about tourism industry, right?
Yeah, tourism is the next big thing.
Right. So likewise, what and all, according to you, what and all the industries, they have a very good scope in future, and they have also, they hit enough during this pandemic situations, right?
So there are two things, ma'am. So two things which I'm already working on also. Apart from my software agency, I have two important industries that I believe is the future. Okay. And during the pandemic period, everybody lost jobs, and they knew the value of having a skill set. It's easy to get placed through college, but when you try outside the college, all your skill set matters. You might end up having 15,000 salary where you used to earn 50K or like a lakh or like whatever, right? So people started understanding the skill set is very important, and they started leveling up. You won't believe. I have an Instagram profile where I teach about UX and or product design and all of that. Within 1 month of time, I had over 2,000 to 3,000 followers, and I thought, okay, it was all about my content, but it wasn't about that. It was about the time that people invested and they want to learn. So people have been jumping into this, with Byju's becoming a unicorn and every edtech company becoming the next big thing, because after this, people need skill set. So one of the industries that I'm trying to impact right now is the edtech industry. So we are working on an idea where we want to teach people through bite-sized content, a faster way to learn, a more efficient way to learn. So we have been working on that. So I believe the next big thing is the edtech industry, and it's going to boom. People are now more aware of why education matters, why skill set matters, or why the 21st century skill set matters, right? So that's one of the biggest things. And second would be the tourism, which my co-working space has pivoted to. We have given up on the real estate model, and we have completely shifted to real estate in tourism, with tourism. So these two things, but even tourism will pay out. After 2 3 years, when people are more okay, fine, they start traveling and they'll burn out. After 2 3 years, it's just you just make the money come out of it. So I'm not sure how long tourism will survive, but within 2 to 3 years, it might wear out. That's my guess. Even though I'm working on that, but I have a guess of that. So, but the edtech is gold. Like it's the I mean, if you can build a product that can teach people more engagingly, more I mean, two simple things. You don't have to create content. Like create an application which doesn't have to, where people don't have to create content. An AI system or a software which can teach people by gamification or whatever, people would definitely pay for it. They want more intuitive and interactive way to learn. They just want to learn while traveling in the bus, or when they're in the subway or on the train. They want to learn anywhere, like, and everywhere. So start concentrating on other forms of education, and instead of just blogs and videos and all of that, there is just so many formats of learning. So that might be the next big thing.
Okay, what is your opinion about the investors? Is it very much required, the angel investors, or many number of venture capitalists or management consultants are existing for supporting especially the startup companies? Do you think that, or do you believe that the investors are very much, even for mentoring, right? Mentoring, legal advices, all these, for these kind of services, we are approaching them. Okay, do you think, what about your opinion?
There are two things, like mentorship, definitely yes. Like you're gonna need mentors
Cool.
because like without mentors, I'm nowhere. Like I wouldn't have any knowledge that I have today. So mentors are definitely required. But I don't know. I mean, I don't believe in paying a mentor to be my mentor. It doesn't work like that. You will just find them. They'll just come in your life, and they'll just change everything that happens around you. So we just need to be surrounded by good people, and mentors will eventually happen. The second thing is like talking about investors, right? One of my companies actually funded, like, which is Disruptors of Tomorrow, is actually funded by few rugged investors. Like there are multiple investors in the company. So it depends on what product you're making. My software agency didn't require investors, but my real estate company did require investors, because like there's a lot of capital that goes into the company, like by building infrastructure, by making interiors, the tables, and all of that. That requires a lot of fund that needs to flow in at the first shot. So whereas my software, the clients pay me, they pay me 50% or 60% upfront, and I can always run the company without getting investors. So it depends on what type of product. And talking about the software itself, the application that I'm working on today is actually going to require investors, because my team doesn't have the enough skill set to build the product more beyond what is there today. We need more AI developers. We need more ML guys and all of that, right? So we need one of the best talented people. Then maybe, okay, I need to pour in some investment. I need to get some investors. So we can't keep burning cash, right? So it depends on what type of product, and not everything requires investors.
Okay, that's right. Okay, perfect, Shai. I think people are so comfortable with your content. That is the reason they're not having any doubts.
Sure, man. Like
Thank you for your support. Thank you for your gracing this occasion. Right. I would like to call upon the student again for giving you a small vote of thanks.
sure.
Vignesh, who's available? Over to Vignesh.
So, thanks for spending your wonderful time, Sai Chris.
I'm so sorry.
Like,
Yes.
Sai, like, once again, thank you for coming to our function and making our function. Ma'am, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, man, I can hear you.
Just a minute. Once again, thank you for coming to our function, making our function. Ma'am, can you hear me? Hello?
Your voice is gone down, man.
Yes, Vignesh, you go ahead.
Okay.
It's clear.
Yeah, so due to some network issues, okay, sorry for the inconvenience. Sorry, since being an entrepreneur, ma'am, I've asked you like so many questions regarding it, and can you give like one line advice for the students? Yeah, so due to some network issues, okay, sorry for the inconvenience.
Man, like your voice went down. Like, can you just repeat the question again? Vignesh, your voice went down, man.
One second. There are some problems here. One second.
Sure.
He has some technical issues. Let me complete the session. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation, Ashai. It is our pleasure of having you here again in this portal. Okay, we are so happy and feeling so blessed to have our children again back to SRM institution. Okay, thank you for accepting our invitation once again. We would like to thank our management as well as the Department of Management Studies, head of the department, as well as all the faculty coordinators and student coordinators for having this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
We'll send you the report as well as the photographs. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prabha, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Students, please stay. We will have one more session with us, with our scholars.
Ma'am, we are here.
Welcome, ma, scholars team. Harita. Yes. Good afternoon, Harita.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Who else are there along with you? Your team members?
We have Vinodini, ma'am. Yeah,
please introduce your team members to the students, first year MBA students.
okay.
Then you
I'll introduce all my scholars who are along with me.
Okay,
who are there
over
here.
to you then. Over
Yes,
to you.
ma'am.
Over. Thanks.
Okay. Hi all. Hope we know each other well because we have spent 3 days together. I think so. Yeah. I am Harita, research scholar, MBA department, and I'm also the alumni of the MBA department. Now I'll introduce you to Mrs. Vinodini. Yeah, she's Vinodini. Hope you all know her also because we have played a lot of games in the other sessions as well. She's doing her PhD in finance. I'm doing my PhD in HR. So next I will introduce you to Maithili, the next research scholar. One second, we are not prepared for this, and 2 seconds, I'll just introduce you all. This is Maithili, research scholar of MBA department again. She is the newest research scholar for that department, and she's doing her PhD in the field of marketing. I'm happy to introduce you to her. 1 second. Others, I'll introduce you in a meanwhile. They're all in some other works. So in another 10 minutes, I'll introduce you